Hi, I'm Luka Anicin, an AI engineer, and I'll be guiding you through this module. The first step for us is to help us generate the README file, the one that is just the initial README file. It is a landing page of the project, especially when you're building something that is publicly available, and we know that this repository is publicly available, and if something like this goes public, not great. So let's change that. And I'm gonna open our hated chat. And so my prompt is gonna be pretty simple for now. Analyze this code base and generate a comprehensive readme.md file that includes. And now, oh, sorry. Stop. Okay. By the way, in the continue, you can just go back to the previous question and ask, and it will by default create sub branches of the chat. So the same as in any other kind of a chat application, you can go back and chat with it. Now here I published this message, which I did not kind of finish, so I can go back, stop it, and start again. So project overview, then setup instructions. I want to have API endpoints references, data models, and usage examples. The project is using Fast API as a framework. And it is for incident management. Okay, the file already exists. Edit. So it will go over all of our code base and perform the edits on the README MD file. Now, it is important because Continue does not have direct integration, but it is add-on to the VS Code. So sometimes if you just point it out to do some task without explicitly saying that you have this file, that you need to do this and that, it will just assume that it does not exist. So that's some limitation of these add-ons. So I experienced that before. So just always note that, okay, it exists, great, cool. So I'm gonna remove this part and just leave it as is. Now, this is not like complete documentation. So in most cases, because we don't have the documentation of the functions itself, that's something that we need to do before we can update the README file again to have the full scope of the README file. Now, you can try for the fun of it, so let's do it, and say this is not a full file. Complete step by step setup, and then I'm gonna paste this again. Okay, so now I intentionally didn't say to edit the README file. So this is something that is common even in the chat on the right, as you can see here. If you have a specific model, selected that does not do direct integration or does not do direct edits, this is something that you will find yourself with. Now this is in the agent mode. So agent mode works better with other models than the rest. This is the OpenAI model. Now you can select this, and we are using the Helicon proxy. Now, because it is a proxy model, they have their own injections in the whole setup and everything. So that's why this is happening. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, you see the full everything is here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it here, or you can just apply it from here and it will do it by themselves. That's an extra step. And the second reason why they're doing that, because they're noticing, and I read that in a documentation last week, they have noticed that people are injecting their code in other code bases because it's a public one. So that increases the risk. So that's why they decided to do these extra steps for prevention of those injections. So let's see what we have right now. Okay. Good. Okay, all endpoints are here. Data models are here. User examples here. Great. Everything that they asked for. Okay. So for example, let's go to models. And now we have models that are completely unchecked. So I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna select all of this. And you will see that here you have this AI symbol. Now, or you can go and if you want, you can go and Command L and it will open the new session in the continuum. So if you have a continuum installed, which all of you do right now, it will automatically select with Control L continue over the GitHub Copilot or GitHub chat. So it has the priorities over one of the others. So right now I have the full models. And now what I'm gonna say is add a Google style docstrings to the, sorry, this is for the next one. Add docstrings to these authentic models using Google style. Include descriptions for each field and example user. Okay. Great. Accept, and it automatically added Google style docstrings. Now, Google styles, just for kind of a thought process why I did the Google styles, is it's mostly accepted as a kind of a good standard. Now, is this something that you in your companies are doing or following? That's companies like rules by themselves. So you can experiment, and I would definitely encourage you, instead of using just Google style, to use your own style. And no matter which editor you use, you can create your agents. So if you go with the continue, we'll do that here. If you go on the GitHub Copilot or chat, AI chat, yeah, you can create custom agents and then use it here, configure custom agent, and you can create a custom agent on the level of like here, and then it will be under GitHub/agents. So it will be pushed to the repository. Now, when you create a repository, what they do, everybody gets that GitHub kind of a root file, and everybody has the same access to all the agents under that file. So the same principles that I'm gonna show you right now apply to any of the editors. So if you use GitHub-based one, which is GitHub Copilot, you can create it in that way. If you use Continue, I assume some of you will continue to use Continue, maybe, after this. But if you use Cursor as well, the same principles apply. So in the Continue, when you go here on the far right corner and open Settings, maybe for some of you, you will have seen this kind of a screen width too small. Just go and extend it a bit, and you will see like different views, right? So here you will open the user settings. Now in user settings, we don't have to change anything. It is what it is. So let's go back to see what we have. Now under the models, if you use Continue, that is general purpose, you just install it, you will have here all the models that they have. Like for example, Claude-based models, Chat or GPT-based models and stuff like that. In our case, we have OpenAI's model via Helicon proxy, which is basically Helicon's model that Saras AI connected to us, and we use the same API key basically that everybody has. So models, you don't have much of the things to change. Rules is something that we will edit right now. Then you have tools. Now under tools, you have a bunch of the tools that already exist. And today we want like a change tools thus far, but in the future lectures we'll create our own tools. So here you have the read file, create new and stuff like that. Now a bunch of these things that it allows us to for example, can I edit the file or can I change it? You see that everything here is ask first. Ask first is because it allows us to control the security of these functions. Now the continue is great because by default everything except the read file is ask first. So here, if you are bored of like copying and pasting or applying the changes from the chat to your file, you can go here and just automatically select everything. And I'm going to show you how that changes the behavior. Okay. Cool. So I put everything to automatic. So it will find out from the prompt, and it will become more kind of on its own when it changes the code. Now, this is something that I do not recommend. Even in the cursor, I prevent it to do a bunch of things automatically. So I never put it to work and just go outside and drink coffee. If I do that, I'll go back to a bunch of code generated, which I don't really know what it does. Well, I can go over, but if you have 10,000 lines of code generated, which can happen, of course, then you have more time to spend on thinking about all the things necessary and how they are codependent, instead of just thinking about file by file or function by function. So this is something that is for your own purpose. When you change this, it only applies to current view. So when you create a new GitHub instance for example, for the next week or for your tasks, these will be back to ask first. Okay, so this is session-based settings. Now configs, you have a local config. You see here the model that we have. Oh, we are model 4.0. Okay, and this is my Helicon user. So that's how we can recognize even with the same API key. And that's it. Now organization, I cannot see this, of course. And indexing is something that happens in every single editor. When you start using in a certain code base, you will see that, for example, indexing will run anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes depending on the structure of your code base. And indexing meaning to recognize every single file, so it can prompt it. For example, if you send a message immediately without indexing being done, then it will just say, oh, but I don't have the information. What code base did you think about it, right? So you will have those answers that are really frustrating, like you were supposed to have the code, but it didn't finish the indexing, and that's why you have that problem. So back to rules. Now, you notice that we used a bunch of these kind of a document this and document that and stuff like that, that were put like a copy and paste every single time. And it becomes boring, especially when you have a bunch of those to run. So you have two different sets here. And one is rules, which is basically default agent system message. So if you look at it, you will see you are in agent mode. If you need to use multiple tools, you can. You can multiple read-only tools simultaneously. Always include the language and file name in the info string and so on and so on. So basically, this is something that they wrote for us. Now, we can just view that, or you can create a new one. So when it comes to your custom ones, you can create anything that works for you, right? Or for the current set of things that you would like to build. Now, when you build here, you have two options: global, so everybody can see that, or current workspace. My recommendation, because of the structure of the lecture and everything, use current workspace. And I'm going to use my custom rule, for example. Okay, create. It will create a new agent here. Okay, and you can put it like in rules if it's going to be active or not. We cannot change the original one. Okay, you can just add something that you can build, right? Now, it is MD file description, a description of your rule. This is the custom rule for documentation and teaching agent and onboarding agent. And I played a bit with the prompt, not so much, so we can tune it together. So here is in the chat. Okay, I need to remove some tokens because it's longer than a message limit. Okay. So I'm gonna write it like this, and here are two more two parts that I couldn't send from the original message. So you will see that this is created under our settings, and you can turn it on or off depending on do you want to apply it on every single chat or not. Now, it will be applied on top of the default agent system message. So rules are generally applied together, of course, if they are on. Now, this is the same as agent in the core of, for example, the chat AI chat or GitHub Copilot. Okay. So once you create that, you will have rules. Then my custom rule, of course, you can name it in whatever. You can just edit it here, and that's it. Now, this is one thing. Before we go back to the chat, what I like to do extra is to talk about prompts. Now, prompts is something as a kind of you can think about this as a prompt library. You can write a prompt that is general purpose, that basically does a certain specific thing, and instead of you writing like a dead prompt all over and over again, you can just write it as a prompt, and you can call that prompt every single time, basically as we did for documentation. So for example, if I go back to the chat and I have this generate API documentation before that, okay. So the add Google style docstring. So I can create a new prompt, and the new, well, it's created two new prompts. Okay, I'm gonna go here, edit this one, and I'm gonna have this invoke true. I'm gonna explain that in a second. Function okay. And here it's gonna be document function in Google style. Okay, good. So now you can create as many as you like. I'm gonna give you a lot of examples for testing, for documentation, for accessibility, for coding styles, everything. Now I have this new function, that's good, and I can close it. If I go back to the chat, you can go back here, let's open a new chat, and I'm gonna open the API because we don't have anything documented here. So here, I'm gonna select this, open, and now, when you type slash, you have our function doc. And just enter. So now I didn't write anything. I didn't write a single thing except like selected that. And now I can just apply the change, and here it is. Here it is. Okay. Good. So now you saw that we don't have to rewrite everything or copy and paste the prompts. That's why you have the prompt library. And now you saw that it actually applied our original style. You can go here and you can use my custom rule, and then it will override in that chat the original agent if it's in collision, right? So that is something that I'll generally do. So here is a Kiro from the beginning. Now, the editor by itself is based on VS Code, so you'll see that it actually looks the same. So that's nothing new for us. But the new thing is this: you have two ways, like a vibe, which is great for rapid exploration and testing, or spec-based. Now, spec-based writing, and we will enforce it much more in the next two classes, so week 3 and 4. But it is basically to start building something from the ground up, like with the case of, so not directly coding, but writing a lot of user stories, tasks, tests, and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to our README file. I'm gonna go here and open README, and this is the our description. And what I'm gonna say, okay, now we need a new set endpoints for admin dashboard. Yeah, so that's it. I didn't provide more information than this. So what Kiro does, I don't have anything inside of the workspace, right? So it will explore everything and say, okay, do we have anything? Of course not, because I started from scratch. And it plans out into 3 stages. The first is requirements.md. it creates requirements, which is basically what is required to do. Then it will do specifications for how each requirement should look like, and then use a story. No, Kiro is my own stuff. I'm just mentioning to you guys Kiro as editor. You can just download it for free. It's completely free.
Gotcha.
So you can just download it. Yeah. So you'll see this is the kind of requirement file. Now requirements file, you will see that admin dashboard endpoints, which of course we don't have. I just think about it right now. So it has all of these requirements. So you see that requirement 1, incident overview statistics, user story, and so on, acceptance criteria, and it does this really well. Now, if you're good for this and you want to iterate on that, that's fine. You can add more requirements. You can explain what you need and stuff like that. Let's say we are happy. You can move to design phase. Now, design phase is it will think about the architecture of all of these things and how they're interconnected. So you will see that as a next stage, and then the task list as a last step in this whole specification-based development. It will break all of these down into specific tasks, the same as, for example, on the Jira or like a Jira tickets or ClickUp tickets or whatever. Those will actually provide you with a lot of details, and then it will be much easier for AI, whatever you use, to generate code based on those, right? So this is the design document. So here is how it should look like. Well, how it thinks it should look like. Okay, service level data models and so on. So pretty nicely done, right? And then you have the task list. Of course, that's the last step. Now, how I use these flows. I generally use Kiro because, as I said, it's free. I generate these requirements design task lists. I go back and then take these documents, copy paste them to our project in any other editor, because I said I love Cursor more than Kiro. I don't like Kiro that much. And then I would basically say to AI, just use these two free files to complete task by task in the Cursor, in VS Code, in any other editor. So that's how I do it. While that happens, let me just move it to the task list stage, and then we can switch back to the VS Code. Okay, I'm gonna move it down for now. So here, when you go to this session, you can do the same thing and say, oh, now we need a complete admin dashboard for our admin dashboard endpoints for our incident API. So the continue will have the same steps, the same as this one. And you will see, for example, it will understand the current system, define requirements, design the backend endpoints, implement plan, and testing and validation. Okay, so it does have the same workflow as the Kiro. So more and more editors are accepting this. Now, if you end up having some editor or using some editor that does not have this directly, you can use some that, for example, you can see that AI Chat does not have that. So GitHub does not have that. And Cursor does not have that directly. So what I do, I use some of them that have this, and then basically continue using that. So, and another editor that I found really nice for the planning stage, or for the specification-based generation, is anti-gravity. So they have the same process as Kiro. So they are competing directly from them. So what we can do right now, I'm gonna copy the whole thing, go back here, create a new folder and create a spec. And then under specs, I'll create a new file, requirements, or rex md, and paste what I got from the Kiro. Then I'm gonna create a new file called design. Okay, and paste it like this. Don't worry, all of these files will be pushed to GitHub after this session, so you'll have all of this there. And here, tasks, empty. Now let's say that we want to let AI generate this. What I can do right now, I can use files and use like a rex, okay, then design, then I can use directly tasks. Based on this specs, start creating a backend for our app.
If we are not using the Kiro and directly using the same,
you can generate it in ChatGPT, in any editor, and you can just name the files. Like that's it. Kiro is basically using backend of the GPT, so it's fine.
So this is basically for testing and design.
Anything basically. It's much you see right now it's much more robust when it generates even continue when it comes to generating like a larger sums of code. Okay, so what I do when I need to prototype a new feature or generate a bit of a code for newer tasks, or actually plan a certain new feature, how it will integrate with the rest of the systems, I would use Kiro, or I would use ChatGPT to plan it out, structure these 3 steps, like specific requirements, design, and then tasks, and then I would give the AI to follow these tasks one by one.
Okay.
Yep. But you can use any tool. So my personal choice is, of course, either ChatGPT if I don't have the access to Kiro, or Kiro if I have access to it. And then I would create these 3 files and then paste them directly in the chat-based application, like a Continue or a Copilot or Cursor, because Cursor does not have that one. And then I will prompt it and say, just follow these specifications to create a new code. So that's it.
Code faster, build smarter, lead the future of AI. Join the Master of Science in AI Engineering. Check out our website,